Press the bell icon on YouTube and don't miss another update.
Nirmala Sitharaman, the Defence Minister, and we are here in Bhopal, the constituency which is the focus of all of the country because Sadhvi Pragya Thakur is fighting Digvijay Singh. Sadhvi, of course, is from the BJP, your party. Nirmala ji, what is your assessment of how she's doing?
I've just come this morning, but from what I understand, her campaign is going on full steam. And there's a lot of resonance from the voters in Bhopal. And they see her candidature as something which is sending a very strong message out. And I have a feeling she will make in a big way her presence to the parliament.
So, Nirmala ji, you know that Sadhvi Pragya made some comments about Hemant Karkare, who was the hero of the 2008 Mumbai attacks. What is your reaction to that?
Well, I think she herself has given her explanation, and subsequently the party has also stated its position. So there's nothing more for me to add on that.
No, but still, what would you say? Because this is really a constituency and a contest that everybody is watching.
Absolutely, everybody is watching, and BJP's position on it, on Martyr Karkare, is very well known. We recognize the sacrifice that he's made for the country. There's no second thoughts on that. And as regards Sadhvi Pragya talking about her experience, I think we should take it for what it is, in that she was put to torture, whether by A, B or C, it doesn't matter. She has definitely spoken about.
In this case, Hemant Karkare, she felt who had interrogated her.
No, I do not think we should go on that. I think she's come out very clearly, stating that she's spoken from the point of view of the torture she underwent. Whether it is particularly on X, Y, Z, no. She has very clearly said she's spoken from her torment. And the party has very clearly said, we recognize Hemant Karkare's sacrifice for the country. So there's no point in mixing this and that back again to get.
So would you say, Nirmala ji, that this is a controversial candidacy on the party's part, on the BJP's part, to put her here?
Well, if you think this is controversial, I don't know how you, from the media, view Kamal Nath being the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh.
In what way?
1984. Is there some questions being asked on that?
No, I'm asking you, what is your reference?
Reference is equally. There are issues on which several candidates till now from the Congress have also, why for that matter, being out on bail. Even the president of the Congress party.
No, those are insinuations. But in Sadhvi's case, she's got a terror charge against her.
Excuse me, are you suggesting that the bail on which Rahul Gandhi is out is insinuation? He's out on bail.
No, he's apologized to the Supreme Court and the Supreme Court has dismissed his plea. Yes.
I'm talking about National Herald, on which he is out on bail, isn't he? Please.
Isn't there a difference between a terror charge and something which is a property dispute?
So, therefore, it is us media who should decide, even much against the law, that till somebody is convicted, you would presume that the first rule is they are innocent. Till they are convicted, says.
Absolutely. That's the law of the land, that you're innocent until proven.
That is it. And that is it, madam. We can't be pickers and choosers of which bail is better than one or the other. The law of the land says, till somebody is proven guilty, they are presumed to be innocent.
So you're presuming that Sadhvi Pragya is innocent?
Jyoti, I think we should have a mature way of asking questions and answers. I'm willing to go by this question and answer session for any longer. Okay. But the rule cannot be one for some people and another for some others. Here is the case of somebody who has undergone torture for a conspiracy which was woven by particular mastermind. And that mastermind is her opponent here. It's the tormentor versus the one who was tortured.
Do you want to take the name of the tormentor?
Not necessary, you know it.
No, are you talking about Digvijay Singh?
You know it. The tormentor versus the tortured is what is happening in Bhopal.
Now, the question is, because this is such a big contest and everybody is focused on Bhopal, my next question to you is that several people within the party, within the BJP, behind the scenes in quiet corners are saying that they're not comfortable that Pragya Thakur, who is this controversial, very high-profile candidate, maybe the party should have put somebody else here?
Well, I don't agree with your interpretation at all, even if you've heard it from whoever you've heard it. The decision to have Sadhvi Pragya as a candidate for Lok Sabha 2019 from Bhopal is a decision taken by the state party of Madhya Pradesh. And every state party is given the right to decide on their candidates, which later goes to the Central Parliamentary Board and which finds an approval. And therefore, this decision is something which the state party has taken.
So the whole party stands behind her?
Undoubtedly.
Okay. Despite not only the 2008 Malegaon, but also the 2011 accusation that she has had in reference to the Sunil Joshi murder case.
Well, all this you may keep adding as you want. But I have very clearly told you, in Indian law, the presumption is, till you're proven guilty, I think all of us agree, innocence is what is got to be taken for granted.
Yes. That the politics of Pragya Thakur, she espouses a very militant kind of Hinduism or nationalism.
Well, BJP and its ideology is very clearly stated, discussed, questioned, argued, and all of us are willing as many number of times for us to be questioned, for us to be given an opportunity to answer. And it is that BJP ideology and it is that BJP's belief systems with which each of our candidates are nominated to fight a contest. Pragya Thakur also goes through that process only.
You are fighting this election, your party is fighting this election on nationalism. There is a lot of references that the Prime Minister has made about Pakistan, about the Balakot attacks. But you haven't really talked about the poverty figures, joblessness, rural distress.
That's not true at all. In fact, all of us, inclusive of our Sankalp Patra, gets into great details of what we've done in the last 5 years. Whether it is for the unorganized sector workers, whether it is for the farmers, whether it is for the women, whether it's for the poor, and so on. A lot of issues, in fact, every issue is gone into detail because that's how Prime Minister Modi had made sure that in the 5 years we got into the depths of each of our departments' work and showed performance.
Clean governance is fine, but there's very little on vikas. In 2014 we heard the word vikas much more than we hear now. Today it's Balakot.
Sankalp Patra.
Yes, of course I have.
You have got.
But if you look at the Prime Minister's speeches and, over the last several days, the word vikas is hardly there. He talks about Rajiv Gandhi, he talks about Broforce, he talks about Balakot. There's everything else but vikas.
No doubt. No, everything inclusive of vikas. Let me say my experience to you. Of course, the Prime Minister's speeches are there for all of us to see. I do make it a point to start talking about the 5 years performance, absolute lack of corruption, decision making, looking at development of this country and everything. And in the public meetings, even as I talk all this, the public's voice, whether it comes in the form of a small sheet of paper or when they say Balakot, surgical strike, or the chits of paper coming to you would say, will there be one more surgical strike? There is a resonance, whether you like it or not, on such issues. They want terrorism to be addressed. They want Pakistan to be told to contain terror in their country. And therefore, we also have to address it.
Have you succeeded in that message that it is important, of course, to control Pakistan's terror, but do you feel that it's more important than rural distress, joblessness? Of course, again, we are getting back into how GDP growth figures are not as clear as they should be.
But you're asking me to go through a process of questioning which you are going back to talk about things which I've addressed. I am talking about Beti Bachao. I am talking about Ujjwala. I am talking about the pace at which infrastructure is being built, whether on road or waterways and so and so. I am talking about how women are being empowered through Mudra loans. I am very clearly telling them about how enrollment in the armed forces is happening. I'm also talking about how decision making is happening to empower the armed forces, which lied like a dead wood during the last UPA rule. All this is also being taught. But you would want me to go back saying, oh, only Balakot. No, I'm talking about all this. You're not willing to hear. The public certainly.
I'm hearing you. No, I'm hearing you. Now, but then why is it that the Prime Minister, he's in his reference to Rajiv Gandhi, he was not only a former Prime Minister but assassinated by the LTTE, but for him to say that he was Bhrashtachari number one, wasn't that not a nice thing to say?
But Jyoti, are you trying to suggest that all of us do recognize it was absolutely unfortunate the way he died? We respect him for having, really become a martyr for this country because of terrorists wanting to get back to him. We recognize him. Yes, he was a Prime Minister of this country. But therefore, are you telling me that you can't talk about corruption which prevailed in his time? You can't talk about not respecting a Supreme Court verdict on Shah Banu, women's empowerment.
We should talk about everything.
Okay. Let me finish, ma'am.
Sure, of course.
So, are you saying that if institutions were disregarded during his period, even on empowering women? Well, all of us are very keen, right? Women have to be given all the rights and everything. And on that matter, when he disregarded the Supreme Court to empower a woman and went against empowering women, is that wrong to talk about it? Is there something which bans us from talking about it?
And we must talk about the fact that there were...
So touchy about it?
No, it's...
I would rather have the Congress stand up and say, you've given us an opportunity to talk, because when he was the Prime Minister, it was the Congress party's leadership. He was
Why talk about Rajiv Gandhi? He's been dead a long time ago. Why not talk about issues that confront India today, like rural distress, like joblessness?
We are talking about it, and as much when the Congress comes up with poverty eradication one another time, talks about corruption where it doesn't exist, forgetting that they have not answered this country about the practices that had happened during their leadership. Should we talk about it or not? No, he's dead and gone, so we can't talk. Excuse me.
Ma'am, last question, and this pertains to you directly. Rahul Gandhi, the Congress president, has said that if the Congress comes to power, they will reopen the Rafale deal that India has signed with France.
Irrespective of what the court has said, irrespective of the CAG has said, and irrespective of the lie and the disrespectful accusation that he wants to carry on with, the country doesn't believe him. That is if and when he comes to power. But if and when he comes to power, he is welcome to have any review of Rafale. He is not going to get any luck there. But if he is really true to this country, he should answer on Augusta Westland. He should answer on Bofors. He should actually on Augusta Westland tell us more, because Christian Michel is telling so much more than what you would expect any witness to say. So let him answer all that first, because it is Congress party's award or reward to this country.
Nirmala Sitharaman, thank you so much for speaking to ThePrint. This is Jyoti Malhotra in Bhopal for ThePrint. Please keep watching our YouTube channel. It's live and buzzing.